before, if we've never worked with this client or they don't have an arch yet, they're pretty full, so, and they want to get an arch, what we do is we try to shape them so that it's according to their eye shape. That way, not everybody has the same brows, and not everyone can wear the same shape on their eyebrows. So this is just so that it can frame the face in the most complimentary way. So what we're going to do first is figure out where we're going to start that eyebrow, where it's going to end, and then where the high point of the brow is. Okay, so first you want to find out how far in it can be. So if you don't want them to grow in, okay, so it's not the Frida brow, what we do is we measure with the nostril, tuck it right in, and then go straight up. Whatever's on the other side that's not on the side with the eyebrow is what we remove. So we just measure, and anything on this side is what we would take off with the wax. Okay, so that we get that nice start. Okay, and then for the end of the brow, the outside corner, you're going to turn your stick at a 45-degree angle and go straight past the eye. And where that 45-degree angle is, that's where you should take the rest of the wax off, okay, or the rest of the eyebrows off. So you don't want to go too blunt and take off the hair like in a square. You want to take them off at an angle. So what you're going to do is you're just going to mark the area for now. You can use like a pencil until you get used to, just eyeballing it. An eyebrow pencil is going to be really good for that, just like or a white eyeliner pencil is going to be good. And you can just mark the area that you're going to remove with the wax. That way when you remove it, you're going to go from the high point down to the end point, and then that's going to make it taper off into a little triangle and not just a little blunt square. Okay? Because if you just take that guy off, this last one over here is connected in here somehow, so you're going to get little gaps in there. So we want to just make sure we go with the row of the brows as they're growing row by row. So the brows are growing, okay, a row by row, okay? And they're usually a little longer on the ends to kind of cover up a little bit. So if you have a client that wants to trim their brows, you want to trim more towards the inside, okay, and then less on the outside. Okay, so it's not too short. You want them a little longer so they can reach all the way down a little bit more. Okay, so the high point of the brow, you're going to use the colored part of the eye, the iris, and that's going to be your guide to the highest point of the brow. So the outside of the iris, closest to the outside corner of the brow, okay, so the close to the temple, that's going to be the high point of your brow. So you're just going to have them look ahead, take that stick, and where that colored part is, that should be your high point right up here. Okay, so here is the high point. Okay, so we have our start, middle, and then the outside. So then what we would do is when you wax, you want to wax applying the wax with the hair growth. So for eyebrows, okay, if you go against it, they're not growing in. But when you go like this and you don't feel the little hairs, it just kind of lays flat, that's the way that they grow. Or the way that the hairs are pointing. So they're all pointing that way. Okay, so the hairs are going out. So when we apply the wax, we lay it flat to that high point, twist our stick so it's like a roller coaster. Up, 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 twist, and then slide down to that point. Okay, so that's what we're going to remove. That little guy that's sticking out is going to stay there once we put the wax, because we're not putting it over it, we're just putting along that row. Okay, so then when you actually wax the brow, I'll just use my finger, you're going up to the high point, twisting the stick, and sliding down. And then when we remove, we pull against the hair growth, the opposite way that we applied it. So you always want to remember that. And once you start doing it more and more and more, then it just becomes second nature to apply with and pull against. Okay, so we're going to have our nice little arched brow. Okay, and then for the top part, this is all we need to do for skateboard is underneath. If you have a client, you want to kind of shape this up. So you're just going to go with that last row of hairs to try to even it out. Okay, so we're not taking that little point there. We're just taking that row of hairs so that we have that really nice, perfectly arched brow. Okay, so that's a really easy way just to get big bushy brows into small little nice brows or tapered brows.